This is Minister with LifeModder.com. I'm showing you today the new Windows 11. Little preview of it, review, tell you what I think about it, and maybe give you some insight if you want to upgrade. Just to give you some background on my usage of Windows and what I prefer, or different things. Currently, I built my own desktop. It's an AMD processor with, I think, like 32 gigs of RAM and a pretty nice graphics card. But I actually built it. They call it a Hackintosh. So it runs Mac OS. The only reason I built that is just because I use Final Cut for video editing, and that's one of my favorites. And so I basically have that just for video editing. I don't use it for I don't use that operating system for anything else. And then it's triple booted, so it has Linux. I run Linux Mint, Hackintosh, which is Mac OS, and then Windows 10. The only reason I have Windows 10 is for some light gaming. I don't really love Windows. It is simple, but I like the older versions of Windows. They ran a lot cleaner. Windows 10, I'm an IT tech, so I've just seen the issues where it's just very laggy unless you have a really high-end computer. And Mac I would say is quicker and smoother. It just seems nowadays I need all these different operating systems just to do everything that I need to do. So if I want a game, I use Windows. Linux is my main operating system. I use Linux Mint 20, and I love that operating system. It's super smooth, it's clean, it's simple, everything just works. It doesn't come with bloatware. All the applications are free. There's an app store and they're all free. It's all open source. I like that. But I just can't do quite everything with Linux. You can game with Linux, but you're not gonna be, all the new games aren't going to be compatible. You can make some work with I don't know if you ever heard of Wine, but Wine's this application to run certain Windows apps that won't run on weren't built for Linux. But you can play most of the newer games with that if you want. But I just use Windows because I only play a couple games every once in a while. But Linux, I use it literally for everything else. And Mac, I use for video editing, and that is it. But I just wanted to show you the new Windows 11, and it's supposed to look a lot more like Mac, which it does, with the taskbar, all the icons right in the center. And then they also have some new app support for Android now, which to me isn't that big of a deal because I was running Android apps on Windows 7 years ago. I just needed, when I had a job at the time where you didn't have cell service there, so I ran this app called Talkatone, so that way I could text my girlfriend while I was at work on the computer. So to me, that's not that big of a deal. I guess it's kind of cool, but to me, it just seems like all they did is put a new skin on Windows 10 and then sell it as Windows 11. Which, that's their right to do that, but it's not going to make me like it. I don't think to me, it ran just like Windows 10 with just the looks. It looks a little bit different than the Android app support, and maybe the windows look different, how you can use them, and there's a couple features with that may help you if you use Windows as your main operating system. But to me, I wasn't that I wasn't that happy because it kind of sounded like a cool thing when I read about it, and then when I installed it and checked it out, to me it was basically the same old Windows 10, just a different GUI interface. So what I did is I ran it as a virtual machine. I installed it. I'm going to show you that whole process. And I created the virtual machine with only 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm also using a version that's not going to be the one that comes out. It'll probably be a lot smoother when it comes out, so keep that in mind. But still, it's Windows. All their updates in the past have been buggy and had issues. Sometimes it works and it's fine, but I'm just not a huge fan of Windows. But I figure I'd show you this if you are, and you can make the choice if you want to upgrade. So also one other thing before I show you that is I've heard that if you have to have there's a minimum requirement for Windows 11, and I think it's like 4 gigs of RAM, which most people have, but I think it's certain somewhat newer processors as well. So you may want to look into that before you even download it. And I can put that in the description when I'm done with the video, just so you know right off the bat. But what else? But yeah, so I'm gonna show you it, and we can go from there, and I can say a few more. But another thing about this, I made a video, Windows 10 versus Linux. You should check that out. If you don't necessarily love Windows, maybe check it out. And Linux always sounds to people like, oh, it's it's for techie gurus that are super into computers and know a lot about them. But Linux Mint is actually very user friendly. There's an app store. Yes, you can use the command line to install things, but there's an app store and you can pretty much get everything you want from there. So if you're just doing simple things, word processing, searching the internet, things like that, or really you can do advanced things too. There's a whole set of applications. You can do all kinds of stuff with it, and there's tons and tons of apps in that app store. So it's worth checking out. It's free, so you can't really go wrong. But I'll just tell you, another thing is, if Windows 11 won't run on your computer, you can run Linux, and it'll usually bring a old computer back to life, because it just doesn't use the resources that Windows and other operating systems use. It's just they keep it very simple and bare bone, and whatever you want to add, you can add, but just to keep the operating system running smooth. Same with server versions of Linux. A lot of people use those for their back ends because they're reliable, they just work, and they run fast. So check that out. So, and I think it's linuxmint.com if you want to check it out. Free download. You just throw it on a USB drive, plug in your computer, and then you press like F12 or F2 when you boot your computer, and then you can boot into it, and you can also test it before you install it, which is kind of cool. So you can see if you would like it. It reminds me of like a Windows XP kind of. So if you enjoyed that, it's pretty cool. So check it out if that interests you at all. But now I'm gonna get to the video, and you guys can watch me. I install Windows, and then I just go through all the features, and there's not a whole lot there other than the interface. I mess with a few things. I actually connected it to my Android phone to see how you can send text through your phone connected to your computer, if that interests you. Doesn't really interest me. I use a program called Signal for texting, and that works on every operating system, so I can already do that. But anyways, yeah, check this out, and let me know if you're interested in Windows 11 or if you're interested in Linux Mint, I can help you get that. If you need some help with that, I can give you some instructions. So leave me a comment. Definitely subscribe to my channel. That really helps me keep producing videos and help keep giving you content that you want. You can give me suggestions on content as well. So just yeah, let me know what you think, and yeah, leave a comment below, and I'm gonna show you how that install goes. Okay guys, I'm booting Windows 11, the install image. I didn't put in an activation code because I don't plan on using this. It's just for to show you guys a preview of this Windows 11 operating system. Hey guys, and then here I chose Windows 11 Pro. I was gonna check out what Pro N is, but there's a bunch of different versions. You can see they're kind of titled in a way that you may know, but I've always used the Pro version. I'm not sure what N is, but I'll have to look into that. But yeah, it just depends on what features are needed. Pro usually had most of the features if you're an advanced computer user and using it for most of its capabilities, so I just use Pro. Also guys, here is where if you wanted to upgrade the Windows 10 version you have, you could have chosen the option to upgrade. I'm just installing a new version because I'm not going to upgrade to this, so I just wanted to show you. But this is the spot now where it's gonna start setting up the computer, and even normally on Windows 10 this is slow. So the thing that bothers me the most is, and what I would like from a new operating system is, I care more about performance versus the look of it. So Windows 10 always seems to be, it almost seems like it gets slower with their new versions, and they just add all these features that nobody really cares. Maybe you like the new interface, but I would be more happy with creating an operating system that has better performance. But that's another reason why I don't like Windows 10 or 11 per se, is there's all this junk, some people call it bloatware, that's built into it that slows it down, that Linux doesn't have. When you install Linux, like Linux Mint or really any version, there's a million of them, it comes bare bone and you put on what you want. Windows 10 comes with OneDrive that automatically boots with your computer and a million others, antivirus, all this stuff. And then also has telemetry, where a lot of people don't like the privacy issues with that, where it's always sending your data to their servers constantly. One guy even hooked it up to one of his switches and recorded how many connections that it made overnight when he wasn't even using the computer, and it was thousands. So I just don't like that. And Linux, it's open source. You can look at the code and see what it's actually doing. I just trust it more, and it runs better, and it looks great too. I like it still better than Windows 10. And you can change the skins to make it look like Windows 10 if you want it, or Windows 11. So it's very customizable and just open in all ways. So now it looks like it's gonna start possibly booting up. It's gonna go to the setup screen. You got your new Windows logo that they say it's new, but it looks pretty close to the old one. And I'm just gonna click through here real quick and make a test account and just get it running as quick as possible so I can show you, because I'm not going to be using this. It's just a test. But yeah guys, also another thing, if you ever want me to help you with any computer issues, or or you need some training on anything, I've been thinking about offering some training classes on, either building a computer or installing your own operating system, or just using different apps on a computer, or maybe you do want to try out Linux. I can teach you that. Or I can even, if you really want, I can even teach you stuff on Windows, or how to use Microsoft Office, or their new app Teams, or really anything. If you have any suggestions, or have any needs of that, just leave me a comment or message me or email me. My email is on my website at LifeModder.com. And I think I'm going to start doing some training classes and even more in-depth videos on different uses of or different training on just how to use a computer in general, or maybe even some deeper things. So I've built servers. I'm an IT tech by trade, so I know quite a bit about them, and I like tinkering with them and doing all sorts of stuff. So like I said in the beginning, I built a Hackintosh computer because I wanted to have a desktop that I could use for multi-purposes. But yeah, really anything. So if you have any questions or you want to learn more, just let me know. I'm open to do that, and I'm here to help, and just let me know what you think. So now I'm just going through all the settings, turning them off, everything I don't need, and just getting it running as quick as possible. Also, let me know what you think about this video. If you like Windows 11, if it looks like something you would install, or if it's something that maybe you would rather go to Linux, or you got an old computer and you don't have the money to buy a new one, or you just don't want to and you want to use your old one and not have to spend the money and use Linux instead. Or there's a million other operating systems there's by Linux that are super user friendly. There's a lot of cool ones out there, so I can also show you how many different versions there are and what's the benefit of each. But you can really use them all in similar ways, because you can usually install the same kind of things, but a lot of them just come with certain things already built in, depending on how you're using it, either to learn how to code or to learn how to video edit it. There's a Ubuntu Studio version that's just for like video editing, and I think possibly like Photoshop type stuff, and it's pretty cool. I still video edit with Final Cut because they have video editors for Linux, but they're just not quite as good. I would say they're getting there, but I just prefer this. I know it. I didn't want to learn a whole new thing. But I use, for instance, for Photoshop, I use GIMP, which is like a free version of Photoshop. Unless you use Photoshop to its complete capabilities, to me it's not worth paying a monthly subscription. But anyways, here's the shortcuts. That's I'll show later in the video where you can use those widgets, which there's widgets before, and did anyone really use them? I probably would never use them. It's just like news, a button for news basically, or the weather. And you can see like your file management. They've added some colors there. It looks a little different, but basically the same. I was told that there was no control panel, but I'll show you in the video there still is control panel, which I'm happy about, because it's like your one-stop shop for all kind of maintenance things. These are your different desktops. If you have, like, I think Mac has that to where you can switch to your different desktops, which I never use that as well. These are your Android apps. that you can install. I'm installing Instagram. I'm not going to log in or anything, but just show you how you can just install them right from there. There's your store, Microsoft Edge, your browser if you use that. It's running a little slow, but I don't know if that's because I'm running it virtually with only 8 gigs of RAM, which 8 gigs isn't like a little bit. It's not what most advanced users have, but you can tell it uses a lot of RAM. And if you're running Linux Mint with 8 gig of RAM, it would run super fast. Things would just open in an instant. But yeah, that's pretty much the taskbar, and you can see how it's like Mac, where they have it all right in the middle. And the funny thing is, Linux, you can also get a skin that makes it like that, or you can have it like how it is by stock, where it's kind of like almost like a Windows XP start menu, similar. But yeah, see, this is all the same as Windows 10 here, all your options. I'm just kind of digging through it to see if there was anything different, but I didn't really find a whole lot. I guess there's a phone option that I don't think was there, but if anyone cares about that. So your network configuration, this is all the same. The store finally, or no, that was your Instagram app. So it's like your Android app, which I'm not gonna log in like I said, but it's there if you wanted it. See, this is where I'm going to control panel, and I read that this wasn't going to be there, so I don't know if it'll be in their final version or not, but that would kind of bum me out because I have to use Windows at work, and I use control panel a lot for that because I'm always changing permissions and settings and all kinds of things. And when they converted Windows 7 to Windows 10, they kind of did the same thing. They just added a new GUI interface on top of the old one, kind of, because they kept like control panel and all the main core features that worked awesome in Windows 7, and then they add some other ways of changing settings, like interfaces on top of that I never really liked, and just didn't do everything that control panel could do. And I didn't really get the point, because why do you need another one when control panel already does it? So yeah. And then here, guys, I made a fake Microsoft account so I can show you the widgets and just how they work. And if you wanted to see that, I figured I should show you. And so you can put your news in there, and add different sources, I think. And like I said, I would never use this, but maybe you would, so you want to see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna go through the settings to see if there's anything that maybe other features you want to see. So this is just gonna bring you to where you can manage like your news sites, or it has all kinds of things: food, health, different kinds of news type things, if you care for that. I'm going to show you the App Store a little bit. It's just pretty much the same as the Windows 10 App Store. Doesn't seem much different, if it's different at all. I'm putting in Steam because I heard they wanted Steam on here, but I realize none of these are the actual Steam client. But you know, the operating system, it's good for gaming, but the main reason of that is because it's the main operating system games make their game for. You can't run it on Mac or Linux. There's ways, like I said before, to make it work. Some games you can make a lot of games work actually, and there's a lot of games built just for Linux, but your mainstream games that everybody's playing, probably not. Here's all your apps. Just kind of seeing if there's anything new that I noticed from, it's a different interface, but I hit Windows Terminal. I was curious about that because Linux has Terminal and so does Mac. It's your command line, and I was wondering if that was a similar thing, but I think it's just PowerShell, which is their terminal, I guess, but I was just checking that. Alright guys, and now I'm going to show you how you can connect your Android device or phone to Windows 11. You got to install the app on your computer. You also got to install an app on your phone, and then you use a QR code to connect them. I'm going to fast forward the download because it took a little bit. I think it's just because of my internet connection. It probably wouldn't take yours that long. The thing I don't like is it doesn't tell you like how big the file is or a progress bar, so you're just like, I don't know when it's gonna finish, so I just kind of started it and walked away. But so yeah, that's why I fast forwarded, because it took a little bit. But once it finishes, then you can go ahead and it'll install, and then you open it, you launch it there, and you select your phone. I didn't know you could do it with iPhone too, but guessing there's more features with Android. That's what I have, so gotta sign in, which I did. Then it's called Companion Phone, the app on your phone that you link it to. I linked it with a QR code. I didn't show it, but then these are the features. Shows your phone in the left corner. Basically, what I saw is that you can text like that. You can look at your photos, which this is just a generic phone that I use, so you can look at your photos. I guess it's an easy way to transfer photos if you like that, if you don't have a better way. But really, I didn't see that many features. I went through it a few times, and I guess you you can do a few other features if you Bluetooth, like make calls and stuff, which I didn't test because I don't have Bluetooth on this computer, nor do I ever plan on using that. But this is basically why I'm not that impressed with Windows 11, because they basically added this, which I've already used an app called Signal to do this already, and I can use it on any computer or operating system, and that's what all my friends use. And then they also add the Android App Store, which I also don't really have a use for. And like I said before, I've done that on Windows 7 before they add this. It's just like another app that you install to make it work, and this probably works smoother and better, but to me, I only used it once and don't plan on using it, so doesn't really benefit me. So I guess, if this is beneficial to you, then maybe you do want Windows 11. But I kind of already told you, you know, what I look for in an operating system. Maybe you look for something totally different and you don't mind that maybe Windows 10's a little slower, but you like how all your apps work on it, or whatever your theory is. But yeah, you can also pin it down there so you can access your phone real quick. But that's pretty much it, guys. So that was my Windows 11 preview. If you know of any features that I forgot to mention, just let me know in the comments and I can add them in there if they're beneficial or not. I didn't see a whole ton of new things, but yeah, let me know. If this content helped you decide if you're going to install it, or if you want it, or maybe not install it and go a different way, also let me know about that. And subscribe to my channel if that benefited you, because it really helps my channel and helps me produce more videos, and it just helps me keep pushing the brand and helping people, which I love to do, and share the knowledge. But other than that, just keep tuning in for more LifeMods. You can tune in at LifeModder.com, which all my blogs are posted. And also you can email me on there. We're also on Instagram, life_modder on Instagram. So yeah, you can also subscribe to our newsletter on our website. So if you want to do that, or subscribe on YouTube, that helps a lot. Well, it was good talking to you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or concerns, and keep tuning in for more LifeMods. Thanks, guys. See ya.